Hello friends, in this video lecture we will discuss about productivity, that is a component of ecosystem function. In previous lecture we discussed about there are four functional component of ecosystem. These four are given here: productivity, decomposition, energy flow and nutrient cycling. Out of these four, the first one is productivity. This is simply about production of organic mass or biomass by the organism. So what is productivity? This is about the amount of food energy which is fixed by an ecosystem or its component per unit time per unit area. Productivity is usually measured as gram per meter square per year or kilocalorie per meter square per year. There are two types of productivity: primary productivity and secondary productivity. So what is primary productivity? This is productivity at producer level. Plants are considered as producer. So how much they are producing is known as primary productivity. So primary productivity is about the food energy formed by producers. This is mainly by photosynthesis but may also be by chemosynthesis by chemosynthetic bacteria per unit time per unit area. This primary productivity is further categorized into two: gross primary productivity, that is GPP, and net primary productivity, that is NPP. First, about gross primary productivity. So this is about total photosynthesis which is performed by the plants, or we may also consider about total chemosynthesis by chemosynthetic organism. So GPP is total photosynthesis by producers per unit time per unit area. The second one is net primary productivity or NPP. So the total GPP minus R. This R here is respiration. So the amount of biomass which is consumed by primary producers in terms of respiration. After reducing that, what is left behind is known as net primary productivity, that is NPP equals to GPP minus R. Net primary productivity varies in different biomes. What is biome here? So biome is a large sized ecosystem that have a specific climate with a specific flora and fauna. Flora is about vegetation while fauna is about animals in that particular area. As in case of India, there are four major types of biome. These four are tropical rainforest, deciduous forest, desert and sea coast. While at world level, there are 7 major biomes like desert, grassland, tropical forest, temperate forest, coniferous forest and Arctic as well as alpine tundra biomes. So as we discuss, net primary productivity varies in different biomes and this increases from polar regions towards tropics. Why? Because there is increment in sunlight as well as temperature when we are moving from poles to equator. Desert is exception because in desert water is functioning as a limiting factor. There is limited amount of water, so plant growth is also limited in that particular area. So this is all about primary productivity. Now secondary productivity. So this is productivity at consumers level. In NCERT, secondary productivity is defined as the rate of formation of new organic matter by consumers. But actually this is resynthesis of organic matter by consumers, what they are taking from primary producers. There is actually no new synthesis by consumers because they are depending on plants for all their needs. That's why here only there is resynthesis of organic matter. So as we discuss, consumers, they are heterotrophs, they depending on plants for their needs. So they ingest food. So the ingested food which is present in consumers is further categorized into two. Some amount of food is getting properly digested because of enzymatic activities, while some remains undigested. So this undigested food passes out from digestive tract as a fecal matter, while for the digested food there are two options. Few amount of food is getting assimilated and used in growth activities for that particular consumer, while at the same time few amount of food is consumed for obtaining energy in respiration. So there is also loss of energy because of respiration. This loss of energy through respiration is variable for organism to organism. As in case of producers, there is 20% loss. As in case of herbivores, that are primary consumers, there is 30% loss, while in carnivores there is 60% loss by respiration. So why here is different kinds of respiration loss? Because producers, they are non-motile, so there is less respiratory loss. Herbivores, they also can easily get obtained their food from producers, so also there is only 30% loss. While in case of carnivores, there is maximum loss of energy or food because of respiration. Why? Because they have to capture their prey, and prey are herbivorous, so they also move to protect themselves from their predators. So carnivorous loses maximum amount of food or energy in terms of respiration. If we discuss about the annual net primary productivity of whole biosphere, so biosphere is the sum of all atmosphere, hydrosphere and lithosphere where life exists. So this is nearly 170 billion tons of dry weight of organic matter. We already discussed dry weight is more relevant, while wet weight may fluctuate, but dry weight is always constant. So out of this 170 billion tons, which is net primary productivity of whole biosphere, 55 billion tons, that is nearly 32%, is produced by oceans, while oceans, they occupying nearly 70% of biosphere, while 115 billion tons, that is nearly 68% of this 170 billion tons, is produced by land area, that is carrying nearly 30% area of biosphere. In NCERT this is given about 70%. So 68 or 70 we may consider, both are nearly same. So why land area, that is nearly 30% of total biosphere, is carrying such huge productivity with respect to oceans that are carrying 70% area of total biosphere on earth, that have only 55 billion tons productivity. So main reasons are given here for less productivity by oceans. First, in case of oceans, there is gradual decrease in light when we are moving in depth of sea because of scattering of light. So light is getting diffused, that's why less light, low photosynthesis and low productivity. Second, in case of ocean, nitrogen is the most deficient mineral and its limited availability also causes low productivity in oceans. When we discuss about maximum productivity on earth or in biosphere of earth, in terms of aquatic ecosystem, this is maximum in coral reefs, while in terms of terrestrial ecosystem, this is maximum in tropical rain forest. In hot and cold desert, the productivity is very low because of respectively very high and very low temperature.